I met her dad and stepmom 2 years before I met her at a Vanderbilt football tailgate. Me and my best friend got season tickets in a tailgate spot, and the first tailgate of the year it started pouring rain, and we only had one tent, so her dad and little siblings hopped under the tent with us, and we're just hanging out and had no clue that Alli even existed until she walked in a tailgate 2 years later and looked at my best friend, who'll be my best man, and I was like, who is that girl that just walked up?
Yeah, and then my dad told me one day that one of the guys at the tailgate had asked where his daughter was, and my little sister Lucy, she's 8 years old. And so he jokingly said, oh, she's playing at her Little League soccer game, knowing good well, but you were really asking about me. So the rest is history. He asked me on it today, and here we are. Yeah, I feel like it took me a while. I'm very, I think about every little aspect of every little thing, and I did the same with Tyler. And the final thing for me was just diving into the Word and just reading the passage, like love is patient, love is kind, love is pure, love does not envy. It's, all those things that it says in the Word that love is, and without a shadow of a doubt, you exemplify every single one of those things. So
yeah, she wrote a big old note in this book that she gave to me. I forgot when you gave it to me, but I think it was our anniversary. She gave me this book with the big writing of everything she just said in the back, and I was like, is that you saying you finally agree?
I knew you were ready, but I needed some time, because I wanted to be sure that I'm sure that I'm sure. And
I think one of the things that we pride ourselves on is our relationship truly is a cord of 3 strands, with God being the 3rd strand, and that's something we strive for in every aspect of our relationship, not just now, but we plan on doing that for our future and our future family and kids. It's just having that firm foundation that everything's built on.
Totally. And I think one passage we cling to too is the Great Commission, which isn't really brought up a lot in weddings necessarily, and that is one of the last things Jesus said before he left this earth. So it's go and make disciples of all nations, and we have just talked a lot about that is our call, both individually, but now even more so as a couple for the kingdom, to go and advance the kingdom and be a team and all the things. It could be right here in Cerulean, Kentucky, or across the world, but we're excited to do it together, and I think that's a cool place to get with somebody. So Mom's parents, David and Becky, my Mimi and Paul, this land we sit on is theirs, but it's just sweet because for as long as I can remember, Paul has loved my Mimi like she was, his bride, and Jesus loves the church, and it's always something I've aspired after and been man, I hope my husband loves me like that one day. And it's really sweet that you do. They've been such an example for what a marriage centered around Christ should be, and it doesn't mean it doesn't have its struggles and trials and all that, but at the end of the day it is built on something that is so much greater than them, which was a cool thing to see growing up. So they're going to be married for 50 years at the end of May, which is just 2 weeks before our wedding. So it's pretty cool that it just lines up. So my parents had me when they were young, so all of my grandparents, each one played such a pivotal role in helping raise me. And so it's cool that something that my grandparents have prayed for all of their life is coming to fruition on a day that's also so important to them, and that God's held them through this long.
My first memory of Becky is at a ball game, I think. Saw her at a ball game. She was a cheerleader. And anyway, she got my attention. Prettiest girl I ever saw. And then kind of flourished from there.
Well, he was sitting in front of me. It was kind of aggravating because they were kind of just wanting to get attention. So, but he grabbed my eye as well.
Well, I think because it's centered on Christ from the beginning, and it's I don't see anybody makes it without that. Times you have run through some difficult times anyway, but when you got him as your rock of your life, the foundation, everything, you work through anything.
That's the key, working through it and having Christ at the center.
I think we both love helping others just by our career choices and everything we do, not just
that's a good
at
point.
work, but in our personal life. I think that's something that we like strive for in our family, service, and we want to build on that in so many different ways.
Yeah, for sure.